And welcome back to the show. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. And in the U.S., 1 out of 3 teens will experience relationship abuse. February is dedicated to offering them the support and resources while promoting healthy relationships by empowering young people. In response, Urban Resource Institute's Relationship Abuse Prevention Program is a middle and high school-based curriculum that's designed to end teen relationship abuse and encourage young people. Joining us now to share more and provide further insight is the supervisor of the Relationship Abuse Prevention Program at the Urban Resource Institute, Liz Latsy. And thank you so much for joining us, Liz.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. When I looked at the beginning of the intro, it says 1 in 3 teens will experience relationship abuse, and that's a pretty startling number. Give us a little bit more about how relationship abuse is really prevalent in American society.
Great question. And a perfect place for us to start, really. So at Urban Resource Institute, we run 2 programs. One, exactly like you said, the RAP program, Relationship Abuse Prevention Program. We call it RAP. And we also have Early RAP, the Early Relationship Abuse Prevention Program. And this is a prevention program where we, clinical social workers and educators, get to go into schools. We reach about 40,000 kids in the New York City area. And we get to talk all about relationships. Now, exactly like you said, the numbers are staggering. 1 in 3 teens are going to be in some type of relationship abuse situation. And our entire program is committed to helping shake up those numbers and also to teach kids the healthy relationship skills that they need so they can go on and have healthy friendships, healthy relationships, and healthy families down the road.
Yeah. So you have this program that deals with relationship abuse prevention. What goes into that program? For somebody who doesn't know exactly what is relationship abuse, particularly as a teenager, how would you define that?
Great question. So we take what we call a true holistic approach, right? So we know that when we're working with kids, and the data and the literature show this too, that we really try and get kids involved with their peer group. And one of our greatest strengths of the RAP and the Early RAP program is that we get kids together in groups, in community organization, through education, through psychoeducational groups, and we start planting seeds about what relationship abuse really is. So, for example, if you're a kid in middle school, then we're teaching you all about what we say the 3 types of abuse for middle school. So that's physical, verbal, and emotional types of abuse. And once we start getting into the teen world and into high schools, some of our programs throw in some clinical intervention. So we might have some therapy, and our programs are run by New York State registered clinical social workers. So we have individual counseling, group counseling, and we talk about physical, verbal, emotional abuse, in addition to sexual harassment, sexual abuse, financial abuse, and something that is on everyone's mind, digital abuse.
And there's also something called intergenerational abuse too, and I became a little bit more familiar with that after doing a little bit of research. But share with us a little bit about intergenerational abuse, because what I understand about it is when you have that kind of abuse, it really plays out in the latter.
We know that kids who witness abuse or witness domestic violence, or kids who grow up where there is a story of domestic violence or abuse in the family, are more likely to engage in those types of behaviors going on. So one of the beautiful things about the RAP programs is that we're really getting to the kids at the right age, right? So we probably know a lot of grownups who could use some healthy relationship skills, right? But we're starting with the kids because we need to start teaching them now how to recognize some of those red flags, how to recognize what it feels like when someone's pushing your boundaries and you feel uncomfortable. Or we need to help kids understand about what might feel good in a relationship and what doesn't feel good, and how to actually do something about that. So we're here to prevent abusive relationships and also to give kids the skills to be able to advocate for themselves in their own healthy relationships.
Yeah. And Liz, one of the things that I think that a lot of kids are dealing with now is we've got a generation that's addicted to technology, right? And in addition to the physical, we've got kids who are being bullied. We've got technology that actually plays a huge role in this abuse. Talk to us about the role of technology and what are we learning by way of abuse, particularly by way of technology in teens?
Yeah, technology in teens is a double-edged sword, right? So we know that technology can do incredible things. Like, for example, during COVID, we took our relationship abuse prevention programs completely online. We're still reaching 40,000 kids with our digital programming and our recorded content and doing live workshops, groups, and webinars and those types of things online. So we know that technology can be an incredible thing, especially during times like these when kids can't go to school, which for many kids was really the safe place for them. And we also know, like I said, the double edged sword, the flip side of that is that what happens online can stay online forever. So, one of the things that we help kids think about is how they want to act online, what they want to be able to see for themselves in 5, 10, 15 years when they look themselves up on the internet. What do they want to have out there? And even more importantly, we teach kids about things like grooming and how to recognize if something dangerous is coming up for them online and what to do about it, and really creating a safety plan if that were to come up.
And Liz, I guess the optimal question is how do you go about getting your young people? Obviously, there are a lot of young people that really can use these services and be impacted by these services. How do you go about getting them?
Here's the most amazing thing about working in rap is that we have the most incredible staff who love working with teens and kids. And I have to say, we do such powerful and deep work, but our work is fun. So we are in schools in all 5 boroughs of New York City. We got a bunch of schools in the Bronx, and we engage kids in so many ways. So if we're in a school and we know that that school has a relationship with the arts, we have art programs, we have creative programmings, we have things like gay straight alliances in schools, we have kids who are doing leadership programming all with rap coordinators and all with these programs in the schools. So basically we get to go into schools and say, hey, what are the kids into in this community, and we do our absolute best to engage them in the way that they want to be engaged. And honestly, it is so much fun.
Yeah. And so I know that the work that you do has some lasting results. Talk about the impact that it has when you have these conversations, when you bring this dialogue to young people, because, let's be honest, when we talk about relationships, teens aren't necessarily so open about it. When we talk about abuse, anybody overall is not so quick to talk about the abuse incurred. But share with us what some of your results have been.
Well, you'd be surprised how much kids really do want to talk about this. And sometimes it's the grown-ups who feel uncomfortable about talking about this type of thing, right? Because, grown-ups are still going through relationship things themselves. But when we ask kids the right questions, they are quick and excited to answer. Now, I hope it's okay to share this story with you. It's one of our favorite stories that we have at URI. So in our early relationship abuse prevention program, it's made up of 4 educators who get to go into middle schools and they get to create and execute programming for our middle school students. Now, 3 out of our 4 workers actually are graduates of the RAP program. So that means that when these 3 incredible individuals were teenagers themselves, they were in high schools with the RAP program. And now they work for URI. Now they are the ones who are in the community, who are teaching about relationship abuse, who are sharing their own story. And to me, that is the biggest reward of all. We have seen how we change lives every day. And not only are we changing lives, but the lives we're changing are giving back to the community, and they want to keep this conversation going and still keep it at the top of mind for everybody, whether you're in the school system or at home or by yourself.
Yeah. So before we go, talk to me about some upcoming events and what are you doing amidst COVID-19?
Oh, well, we really got our creativity hats on and we did everything we could to make sure that our students were still being served during COVID-19. So we've had online talent shows. We have run totally virtual summer leadership programs. We have done things like going on, believe it or not, field trips that are totally online. We have movie nights. We have things for caregivers. We have things for training our staff. We have, just sometimes kids just want to come on and play a game. So we make space to play categories with our students. So whatever we would be doing in school, we are totally doing online. And we always love to have kids involved.
Well, Liz, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. We're going to get people connected. And thank you for the great work that you're doing.
Thanks for having us.
All righty, Liz Latsy, our guest here. Now, listen, for more information, you can visit their website, urinyc.org, and follow them on Instagram and Twitter at _NYC. Well, we do have more open. Don't go anywhere. We're going to return coming up right after this.